Hey, Delaware. Welcome back to another episode of That Delaware podcast. And today we are on location, my friends.
So excited.
I always say I'm so excited, but it is the truth, okay? I am so excited today because we are on location with my good friend here, Trisha. I'm at the Sycamore Wine Bar in Old Newcastle. And
If you are one of our longtime clients, you might have been here with us. Last year, we did a really wonderful client appreciation event, and it was amazing. And we got to sample all the wine, and it was just a beautiful ladies' night. And if you're not our client yet, that's the kind of thing we like to do for our people.
right.
But yes, it's so good to be back.
Trisha, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. No, you threw a great shindig for your clients, though. You really did. So for any future clients, I can tell you they do. They roll out the red carpet. It was lovely, and it was such a great networking event. So no, we loved having you here, and we love having you here today. Thank you. Thank you
guys
so much.
Do an amazing job.
Thanks.
I have been here on numerous occasions, whether it is just to hang out with girlfriends, or like we had a birthday here. Chris and I have gone to dinner and then come here and had, I have had a couple of glasses of wine. And then I always say Wingo, but it's Wingo.
Oh, Wingo. Yeah, so Amber has great luck at Wingo. So whoever sits at Amber's table goes home with a minimum
Seriously.
one bottle.
I feel like that's kind of how she rolls.
No, it really is.
Though.
There was
You're
one
a
night,
lucky gal.
there were, 6 of you at the table, and you walked out with, 2, if not 3 bottles. Mm-hmm. And the rest of the room was just like, I can't believe it.
They're
this is rigged. I'm like, no, they're just with Amber. They have great luck.
Just for clarification, is that like bingo where you win wine?
It is. So it's a wine-themed bingo. Actually, one of our partners came up with it, and we do different themes each month, and it is a lot of fun though. And it gets kind of cutthroat, even though it's just a game of bingo, which there's really no strategy except, putting the dauber on what's been called out. But people really do get excited about it. So it's the first Wednesday of each month, and we can fill this room sometimes. And then when Amber brings down, of course, her family and friends, then the luck goes all into her corner. Yes.
And
that tracks.
If you know us, you know that Amber is like the queen of Old Newcastle.
Oh, yes.
And she just has introduced us to some of the most amazing. I'm more of a Wilmington gal, but I do love Newcastle. But I'm thankful that Amber always has her finger on the pulse of what's going on here. So I'm so happy she introduced us to Trish.
Here, I just love it. All my peeps. It's amazing.
I think you're the unofficial mayor of Old Newcastle. Or future mayor, I should say. So,
not a politics girl. I'm going to pass on that one. But you can call me the queen. I'll take that.
There we go. Queen of ONC. Like that's better.
But also I wanted to mention with Wine Go, you also learn about wines. Mm-hmm. So the what is it? The letter or number? I forget how you guys do it, but they shout out like different things about the wines or where it was from. So it's pretty cool. So, if you want to get educated in wine.
I love that because I feel like people can be very intimidated by wine, right?
For sure.
Because there's like levels to it. And I feel like the first time I was here and we had a sommelier and it was just like an introduction. It didn't feel intimidating at all. It was really welcoming.
Well, and that's what we like about coming down to the Sycamore is that you don't have to know wine. You don't even have to have had wine before. So all of our wines are really easily approachable because they're just very harmonious. You're not going to get overly sweet wines or heavy tannins that I think a lot of times if we've not been educated or experienced in wine, if we've only had that one glass of, from our grandparents' liquor shelf, we might have just a different conception of what we think wine is. So it's been really exciting these past 20 months to bring guests down, and especially with our layout, you come down these stairs into this over 200-year-old sort of speakeasy feel, and people's jaws drops, their eyes open, and we just want to welcome them and share with them. You don't have to know anything or everything about it. Some guests come down and know well more than I do. They've traveled to many of these countries and maybe even been to a couple of these vineyards. And I always say in my next life that I'll have time to do that. But we enjoy just sharing our passion of wine with our guests. So we don't want to come across that, we're too stodgy or that we know it all sort of thing. We experience it together. So where this is a wine bar, to us, it's really more an experience. So I'm glad that you got to meet Gregory the night that you were in. Gregory, he's a level 4 trained sommelier. He's the highest leveled wine educator in the state of Delaware. When you meet him, though, he's just so easygoing, so approachable, so friendly. So I do think that really makes it a very just unique experience. Not to mention that we're the first in Delaware to have this too.
Yes.
So I'm a little competitive. Amber knows we've had some fun times together in the competitive arenas, and so that's for another day.
Right. So for people that don't even know about this place or like what it is, it's a wine bar. But there's also spirits, and it is like a speakeasy vibe, right? Like you come through the door, you go down 2 sets of stairs. You can't see from where we're sitting because we're sitting in front of the wine, but we are we're in front of brick and stone, and we're in historical Newcastle. It's very romantic down here.
Yeah, it feels very like sexy and sophisticated, but not intimidating. That's like,
Thank you.
like when you said it's not stodgy, it's not at all. And you can, if you're watching on video, you can see that all the wine and spirits are kind of on display. There's a cool system that you can explain.
Yeah.
Which is something that I have never seen. I lived in New York City for a long time, and they were kind of starting to get into this when I lived in New York, but I've never seen anything like this in Delaware.
Yeah. And to Kristen's point, when you come down, you feel like, oh, like this might be intimidating because you've never seen anything like it. But I have had the pleasure, first of all, Trisha, because Trisha and I are friends from way back. We used to like work out together and all that good stuff. But she let me come in before it was even open and, showed me around. And it's like nothing out there.
Definitely.
And when people come in here, I've watched her many a times greet people and explain to them what this whole system is and explain the wines. And it's very like low pressure, but so intriguing. And it's super cool. There's nothing like this. So do you want to kind of explain what is this? What are we sitting in front of? And how does this whole operation work if you've never been here?
Certainly. So first of all, we're here Wednesday through Sunday, and walk-ins are welcome, reservations are welcome. We're here to serve. So when our guests come down, we set them up with a one-time use card. So that card gives you access to be able to tap and try any of our 3 pour sizes of our 24 wines and our 7 spirits. So it acts essentially as an open tab, and our machines read these cards and then allow you to try from our 3 different pour sizes. So what we really love about these machines is that it offers you an opportunity to just try a tasting pour, which is just several sips. You can try a partial pour, a full pour. So some of our guests come in, they just dabble, try a few pours from all around the world. Maybe then they settle in. Others say, I'm going to start with the left and just work my way to the right. So I love sort of the psychology behind what our guests choose. But these wines are all hand selected, I should say taste selected. So one of my partners and I do all of our wine tastings, and we basically, to use the word curate, we've curated a beautiful, extensive collection of wines anywhere from Portugal, Spain, France, Italy, Israel, Greece, Turkey. And what makes us choose them is that just as our pour systems are as unique as you can find here in Delaware, but what's behind the glass, what's in our lineup, we really want to be unique and maybe that you've never tried before. So I love, Kristen, that you say that you're from New York originally and you didn't really see this concept when you were up there. We enjoy that it is just so, sorry. Oh gosh, sorry.
We're used to it.
K's and K's. So I love that it's just a very, very first time, visual to be able to see and try these. So again, we walk you through, are you interested in any of our reds or our whites, our rosés? And then based on what you've tried before, maybe what you say is that you're looking for in a flavor profile, we sort of guide you. And I find it really exciting when you give the guest their first, maybe just give this a try, and they try it and you see their faces light up and you realize, like, I've hit a home run here. And that is exciting because not everybody has had extensive experience in wines, let alone in just excellent wines. So what we love too is that these all come from small family held vineyards. So these are families that are carrying down their estates to their children. They're working the fields. Their children are working the fields. And I do like that sense of family. And I like that we can give them visibility. They can be in the furthest region of Israel and they're showcased literally right here in Delaware. So a great story is that Gregory, who you met when you were here for your event, he was out in the Châteauneuf-du-Pape region of France, which is really touted as one of the most absolute best wine regions of the world. So he knew he was traveling out there and he reached out to our particular Châteauneuf-du-Pape estate. They don't do tours, let alone they don't speak much English because they really are just in the middle of their fields doing their craft. So he reached out to them. They opened up their vineyard to him. He spent 4 or 5 hours with them, drank all of their wines, took pictures, sent me the pictures. So the point of it is that he said, these are in Delaware, and they shook their head. He said, Philadelphia, they shook their head. He said, New York City, they nodded. So we're as close as New York City, but we're still trying to get Delaware on the map. So we really just do love that we have such a great selection that's accessible to be able to try, as well as we sell all of our bottles of wine and our spirits to go. So yesterday we sold quite a few bottles. I think they were getting ready for another holiday week. So yeah.
It's so cool to know that everyone who's coming in here knows that not only is the quality of the product vetted, but the companies and the families that are bringing these wines to life is vetted. And also I like that you can see the bottles because I'm big on merchandising. And I remember as a kid, my dad, who was very into wine, used to take me to the wine store on a Friday to pick his bottles for the weekend. And if he was in between a few, he would have me pick based on the label. So it is nice. I feel like if you go to drink wine at a bar, you don't ordinarily get to see the merchandising.
Well, it's funny you say that.
Yeah, that's true.
Because some guests do come down and I'll be telling them about them and they say, well, I'm just going to try this one.
I like the label.
And I said, well, what makes you choose that one? And they'll say, I like the label.
The label.
Then you go out and enjoy yourself. So
that's how I am. It's like how I pick my nail color. I'm like, what's the name of this nail color? Okay, it's spicy. I like it.
So you pick it off the name? Do you really?
Well, I mean, it's if I'm between two colors, I'm like, well, what's this name? Okay, I like that one.
I've done the same. Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like this all sounds very sophisticated, and it is. But I think what we should let everyone know is you don't have to there's no dress code, right? You don't have to be dressed up fancy to come down here. There are people that are traveling, coming and visiting, and maybe they're out for a date night and they're dressed up, or you're I'm intentionally going to the Sycamore and I want to dress up, me and my man, and we're going out for a date night, or you're just we were walking down at Battery Park and we earned that glass of wine, and you come in here in your gym clothes. We've all come in here dressed differently, and people will come in here dressed differently, jean shorts, whatever. Anyone is welcome.
So it's not pretentious at all.
There's absolutely no dress code. To your point, you'll get guests who have just biked from the riverfront down here. So they even bring their batteries down and they're charging their e-bike batteries. They have their helmets. They've parked their bikes right at my landing. I mean, we're fine with that. We have no dress code. We don't want anybody to feel that they're too underdressed or overdressed. So that's a really great point. I'm glad you said that.
Come as you are.
I was literally going to say, come as you are.
So what is your background in wine? How did you decide of all the businesses to open a wine bar?
Well, so I'm a little bit of a serial entrepreneur. That's a great question. So actually, my background is in early childhood education. So I used to own and operate a preschool and childcare, and I closed during COVID. So my partner who helped me with that business, coincidentally, is one of the 3 partners with this business. So graciously enough, my other 2 partners welcomed me into this venture. They had seen this concept in travels. So a lot of international travel in airport lounges. So my knowledge has really grown over the past couple years, to be honest. So anything I do with passion. I dive into it. And the irony is that just this past Friday, one of my old students who's now 25 came down with her mom, and they didn't even say that they were coming in. I turned around and there they were. And that brings me so much joy because my heart and my passion really is and was in early education. But it's funny to sort of translate it into anything else that you do. So once in a while, you'll catch Trisha clapping when someone picks a wine that they like. And I'm like, oh my gosh, stop. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you like that wine. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Obviously, I used to own a preschool. So
I think you said that like last week when I was here and you were like,
oh, I know. I get so embarrassed.
It was so cute. They were laughing.
No, and then that's how I operate. So we all do things very differently. But no, so I've just really I've jumped into it with both feet. I've learned a lot more about wine. They have wonderful online courses that you can take, as well as there's one that's in Philadelphia that's not as easy for me, especially with now being a business owner. But I've just really just jumped into it with both feet, and I really enjoy it. And what I think is beautiful about it is that wine is something that you can have in common with, girlfriends or family or a loved one. And it's sort of a timeless hobby. So where, you might play tennis when you're younger with your plus one, and then you ease into golf like I have. What I think is beautiful is you can do travel around wine, and wine is something that brings people together. And that's really the root of it, is that everybody has to eat and everybody has to drink. Wine is something that is just a beautiful way of bridging different generations, people from different countries. It's a really lovely, it almost feels like it's almost a cocktail party down here, because you have a lot of chatter that really does develop with other guests, especially when they're hanging out here by the walls, trying wines, and we're up here, and guests will say to one another, oh, I tried that one, you should try that one next. And all of a sudden I'm stepping back. I'm like, I could just leave now. You guys have got this.
Right,
so once they learn how to ride this bike, it's just, they're having a great time.
This feels like the perfect date spot if you don't know what to do for a date and you want something. Like I always, when I was dating, I never wanted to do activity dates. Like I didn't want to do axe throwing or anything, because I would just be too overstimulated. But also you worry about sitting down at a restaurant feels too intimate,
the
and
pressure of the conversation.
So this is kind of the perfect happy medium where you can interact and you can kind of move around the space and
And I think it does take that's a good point. This would be a great spot for a first date. And if you're feeling that pressure, you're if you're sitting on the bench or even at a table, you're in close proximity to everybody. So you start having conversation with the people next to you. And I feel like that can take the pressure off. But it's also cool if you're not on a date. I was in here last week and these girls were in here and I was like, what did you guys get? And we're chatting. And so it is cool to also have that conversational, intimate piece of it.
And we're really, again, we're very interactive with our guests. I mean, we try to read the room. If you're having a lovely date, you don't need me to come over and just, nuzzle up against you for sure. But we do, once you've tried a wine, we come back and we say, what do you think of that? What were you expecting? What do you want to see from your next try? That sort of thing. So we, I think, do sort of help. Sometimes the gentleman will go to the bathroom and then I walk over. I'm like, so is this your first date? So I really do. I'm a bit of a matchmaker. That's just something in my blood for whatever reason. I love forming connections. And, but it was funny when Amber was down the other week, I was busy with some guests and I look over and there she is with their phone, taking pictures of them. And that's what we like to do. We really like to make this. I mean, I'm sure that's not the first time you've seen Amber
I'm like,
do
hold
that.
on, I'm going to take a video. Go ahead. Cheers. And they were like, oh my God, this is fantastic. Thank you.
Video directing their friend hang.
Well, see, now that's funny because the first time, so you learn something new every day. We just first opened and it was a group of, younger, probably a little more finger on the pulse of social media. So they asked me to take a boomerang of them and they wanted me to be in it too, but I didn't understand. So I kept taking my glass back and forth and they're like, you don't have to do that, Trisha. You just go once and then it does it for you. So I'm sure my face is turning red, but that's, so we all learn something. So they teach me about, social media applications and I share with them my love of wine. Yeah. So it's a win-win. So but we've definitely, speaking of, dates, we've had 3 engagements down here and we've had 1 wedding. So people can reach out to us and say, I want to propose to my plus one, and we can roll out the red carpet. We can change the music. We can use our art television to have all of a sudden a picture of them where it's, two of them in, Central Park, and underneath it says, will you marry me? I mean, we've had so many fun experiences like that. And it really does mean a lot that they choose this place to have such a great time in their life, sort of, occurring here. So,
Yeah. No,
so
this is a perfect spot to
That's
get
really
engaged.
cool.
It's so romantic.
Yeah.
we've actually had 3 engagement pictures too. So people who got engaged elsewhere, and those have been really fun. And then I also then take them out, as I'm sure you well know, Old Newcastle is a great place to
Oh,
get photographs
absolutely.
taken. And there are certain times of the year, no matter when it is on the weekend, there's always either a family or a couple getting photos
Yep.
taken.
Yep.
So when they were done down here, I said, let me go show you another few
Yeah.
places. So I'm showing them, a crossover where we have the sheriff's house, the old town hall. The Mercury has a great alleyway with the lights
Yeah.
hanging. And I love when I get to then look back at all of their pictures that they
Yeah.
took me up on that. And
I feel like that's a part of like being in this community
Mm-hmm.
in Old Newcastle. Like I was showing a property down the street, and it was a girl that I've known for a long time. She's actually from Newcastle,
Mhm.
but she hadn't been to Old Newcastle in such a long time. And I was like, oh, well, let me show you. So like we start walking down, and I'm like, you got to go to the Mercury if you guys want to get something to eat. You got New Orleans and like just all the different places. Told them about the Sycamore. And I get that a lot. Like people that like I'm from Newcastle, grew up in Newcastle, and people on my social media are like, I've never knew that was there. Like when you opened up and I put that video out and was
Mhm.
posting it, they were like, where is this? Oh my God, this is amazing. But I think that's like a really cool part of like our town is just like the community, and just like businesses supporting other businesses. Okay, after you leave here you have to go here.
Exactly.
So that brings up a point, like you now living in and
Mhm.
having a business in Old Newcastle, like
Mhm.
how is that going, and like what's your feedback there?
I love it. So I just live literally half a block away, and I love our town. I truly, if I see a couple sort of walking around and sort of looking a little lost, I will explain that you have the Arsenal where the visitor center is. You can pick up this great little trifold that shares with you all the different businesses and all the different establishments to eat, that sort of thing. I love that we all do help each other out. So you'll go to maybe the vintage clothing store across the street, and the owner's not there, but it's the owner from Mercury who's stepping in for her while she had to run and do something. I mean, there's such camaraderie there.
Or Courtney's
We
working
really
at Mercury and she's making your latte, and
exactly.
Courtney owns Joel
And she owns
Vintage.
Joel.
So
Exactly.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like we're all like so
Mhm.
connected.
We really are. So, if someone's coming down here and they're looking for a full meal, then I'll share with them, maybe you want to try, if you like vegetarian and great craft cocktails, go next door to the Mercury. If you need something a little faster, great family service, maybe go to Azteca, that sort of thing. If you're looking to complement this whole, colonial town, then it's a no-brainer. Check out Jessup's. So when guests come down too and they say, oh, we're going to go eat at Jessup's, the first thing I'll say to them is, have you made reservations yet? So
Yeah.
I've called just directly to Zolly's owners. I'll call their cell phones and say, do you have a table available for
Yeah.
2? They're staying at the Terry house. They seem like they would really enjoy your feel. So we're always just
I
very
love that.
genuinely helping each other out. We really are.
You guys are making me want to move to
But
Old Newcastle.
so I love it. Like I can't really see living anywhere else, because to me, you've got the water. Even though it's the Delaware River, you can hear the water lapping up on the shore. You have eagles flying out there. There are, herons and falcons. I mean, it's beautiful out there. Now you once in a while see cruise ships go by on the
Yeah.
Delaware.
That's
I was
still
out,
very alarming every time I see it.
It's a little jarring. It seems so large out there. But one of the great things is you can be walking out of Battery Park and you look over, the Kelmer Nickel is just
Yeah.
floating into shore, and you think, oh, I didn't know it was coming today, as if
Yeah.
you're privy to everything
Right.
going
You're
on.
like,
in
oh,
town.
is it that time of year
Yeah,
already?
It really is, though. It's a lot of fun, and the people
We're
that
at
you
pirate
meet.
ships here.
It's beautiful. So I've had the chance to ride on that actually.
So
did
actually,
you?
yeah,
Did
you and
want
I
to?
did.
That's a lot of fun.
A lender
Now-
partner that we work with had like a networking event, and so we got to take a sail.
Oh, very nice. Was that recently?
It was like
a couple years
2
ago.
years ago, yeah.
I take my kids there quite frequently to the Calmer-Nickel Museum in Wilmington.
Oh,
they they have like a bunch of great events. We just did like a whole tour of the
very
ship.
nice.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. That I did not realize we had a Calmer-Nickel Museum.
Yeah, they do
in
great events.
Wilmington.
They have like great like Halloween event every year. They have like Junior Pirate Day. Yeah, if you follow them on social media, and they're always looking for like volunteers too.
They definitely are. I mean, that is just, again, that's just one of the things that makes this town so special. I do joke sometimes that when I'm leaving my house and I'm not even like 8 doors away, but when I'm dressed in all blacks, this means I'm headed here. So when my neighbors are stopping to chat with me, I have to remind them, remember when Trisha's dressed like this, that means that we're going to open soon. So I joke that my commute is like a 90-second walk on a slow day, but it can be like a 9-minute walk on like a chatty day. So
just, I'm imagining all of your stories filmed like an episode of Gilmore Girls, because that's such the vibe that this town gives off. And I will say that fall is right around the corner, and I feel like fall and autumn is when Old Newcastle really shines. So photographers, long-term boyfriends who are looking to take the next step, this is really the time to check out both the Sycamore and Old Newcastle for all of your photography, proposal, romantic experience needs.
Yeah. We did our so our clients, we gift them family photos every year.
That's great.
So we did our photos like 3 years in a row here in Old Newcastle.
It's so perfect.
And then we were like, let's switch it up, but
we always do it in the fall.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so people are always asking, where's a good place to get photos taken? And you see, posts on those, type of pages that are helpful to learn about what's in the community. And so many of them, you have to get permits and this and that, or you're not really allowed to. Here, it's just everything is picture perfect, whether it's a set of stone steps that's 300 years old, or, I mean, just everything is beautiful. And it just speaks to, especially in the fall, like you said, it just speaks to the perfect, just capturing that moment.
Amber, do you know what I just got a flashback of?
What?
Running around the streets. Amber and I do a Hallmark Christmas movie.
You probably don't recognize me like this, dressed as a woman.
A real estate-based Hallmark Christmas movie parody.
So many times.
That we just did our second iteration of, and it was filmed. It was conceived, shot, directed within the span of like 3 hours in Old Newcastle. We're just like running around Old Newcastle, like the Christmas tree was up already and they hadn't like done the official lighting yet.
Oh my gosh,
so we're like out like filming and like looking for, like, can we plug it in really quick?
And I'm like a rule follower, so I'm like, I don't know if we should mess with it. And she's like, oh, I'll try it.
We filmed in the Mercury, and we had the Dream Bakery let us use their
I love that. That's so funny.
Yeah.
So I was dressed like a
great little town you got here.
Go check it out.
And then you can drive by, at 10 o'clock at night after, one of the World Cup games, and you'll see Dwayne, the owner of Mercury, and I out in the town square kicking a soccer ball back and forth. And he texts me the next morning, you want to kick the ball around in town? I'm not doing that when everybody can see. It was different when it was late at night.
Hours,
so we do. We love our town. We want this to be a destination town for people who say, let's do a little day trip, or let's do a 24-hour trip and stay in one of the great Airbnbs that we have to offer, or our boutique hotel at the Terry House. I mean, even my family and I, last August, we took a staycation at Packet Alley, which is a beautiful, beautiful bed and breakfast. It's gorgeous. And we sat there, and it was actually really special. Before all of our kids went back to college, my dad was able to be there, and he since has passed. So it was just a really special memory. And we love that this town just creates such amazing memories, whether it's getting my dad on that Calmer-Nickel and he went all the way up to the quarter deck and everybody on the ship was just like, just kind of, but you live your best life in this town. You really, really do. And we want other people to experience it. And I really do feel sincerely that everyone else is looking out for me just as we're really looking out for each other.
And
So
I feel like more than half the people I speak to like really have no idea about like, oh yeah, I've heard of Old Newcastle. Like, do they have anything there? I'm like, oh, for sure.
Do they?
And I feel like I can speak for all of us when I say that's one of our favorite things about doing this podcast and it's just a pillar of our business is kind of educating people on all of the amazing things that the different areas have to offer and getting to know people and getting to know like what vibe would be their vibe. And I can't really think of many people where Old Newcastle would not be their vibe.
Yeah.
There's really something for everyone.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't have to sell me on it. I'm already there.
So we have like live music down here.
Oh,
We have an
yeah.
event next Thursday, the 23rd. It's this improv. It's a group of gentlemen who are out of Scriptless in Seattle. So they're a touring company, and it's going to be, I'm so excited. It's the first time that I'm doing sort of a live show.
That is
It's
so
like
cool.
musical
Love
improv.
that.
That's amazing.
And I don't know if you've ever seen Whose Line Is It Anyway,
Yes.
which I think is hilarious, just especially when they have certain comedians or actors on it. So it is audience participation if they choose to.
I want to come to it.
Well,
I'm like, this is right up my
we're
alley.
selling tickets for it. It's Thursday the 23rd. I'm doing some shameless plugging, but when I plan things, I like them to be nice and full. But otherwise, though, we have a female soloist who'll be here this Sunday, for instance. She sings the Great American Songbook.
Love
And
that.
it's such a vibe. She just looks like she was pulled out of like the 1950s.
Oh my gosh.
She's just this beautiful soloist. We've had anything from a flautist on Mother's Day. We have a three-piece jazz band that plays down here. We have our resident DJ, DJ Smooth K. Keaton does an amazing job. He has double turntables, but it's always just a vibe. It really is. So we get a lot of people who come down for the live music in our shows. So we're always doing something fun down here, whether it's wine education classes, food pairings, wine go.
So where is the best place for people to follow you? Because it sounds like some things are ticketed and then some things are just come
No,
as you are.
that's a great question. So we are at the Sycamore Wine Bar on Facebook, on Instagram, and then we have a website with all of our events.
Awesome.
So yeah, but it's the Sycamore Wine Bar.
So should we try some wine and show them how it's
Certainly. Do you
done to
wanna-
wrap up?
Do you want to do it?
Let's do it.
So when a guest would come down, we would give you one of these cards. The funniest thing is people want to keep these because they want a keepsake. And I explained to them they cost a little bit of money. So instead I have these business cards that look exactly the same. And they always say, but they're not that thick. I'm like, but they'll do. So
You're like, for $20.
yes, exactly. So would you ladies like a glass of wine?
I would love
Would
to
we like to try some whites this
Yeah.
today?
White would be perfect.
Okay.
Perfect for a summer afternoon.
Yourselves, or would you like me to get them for you? What do you prefer?
I would love for you to get.
Okay,
Yeah,
works for
show
me.
them how it's done, Trisha.
So what we have here is we have ourselves 8 whites, 2 rosés, and then 14 reds. Now, if I remember correctly, I think Amber really likes this
Oh my
Sauvignon Blanc.
gosh,
Yes. So that's
yes.
another thing too, is I really do try to remember everybody's names correctly. I apologize. And also I try to remember what wines they've tried in the past. So this is just a tasting pour. This just gives you several sips to be able to see what you think.
Do you
and
wanna
could always
try
go back for some more. Oh, thank you. Do we all like a Sauv Blanc? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
that.
That'd be
Certainly.
perfect.
So these are argon gas powered machines. So these basically are kept temperature controlled. They're also pressure controlled so that these bottles can sit in here for literally up to a couple of months, and you're never going to have any issues of the bottles
Yeah.
not tasting as if you've just taken the cork out of them. So that's another thing that we love, is that just sharing with our guests. I think I'm going to go to Italy and I'm going to try a
Around
Sangiovese
the world.
Bianco.
Ooh.
So this was something that was fun to us, this Sangiovese Bianco. Normally, I've only heard of a Sangiovese as a deep, rich red grape. So we learned through the freezing process of these grapes how this was extracted as a white grape. So we just learned all these really fun facts, and we really enjoy that the different distributors who we work with, they're really passionate about trying to find wines for us that they know will get us excited. As my partner calls it, it's the impossible mission. Is that the from what is that from? What is that? John Wick, the impossible mission, the impossible task. Well, anyway, so this is the impossible task. We have to enjoy a glass of wine. Well, cheers, ladies. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then based on what you like, I'll get you another one.
Oh yeah.
Well,
that's
I
good.
like that.
That's really nice.
Wonderful.
It's so summery.
It is.
It really is. It's perfect for this type of
Yeah.
weather. Just a nice Sunday by the pool, have a bottle of that. Just don't even get the glass. Just take the bottle out, stick straw in it, and you're good to
What
go.
kind of week you had, you know? How your kids are acting. You know. No, this is great. Even in the winter, I've drank this in the winter as well.
I'm more of a white wine person.
Really?
I think I am too.
So am I, unless it is a Pinot Noir.
Mhm.
You have some really good Pinot Noirs.
So we do. We have a really nice, smooth Pinot Noir right now. Our Pinot Nero, which is actually right behind you, and that's an example of where we had a really great Pinot Noir, and then one of our reps brought down this one, and so we tried it. We thought, wow, this is really, really good. So what we then do is we come over, we get a tasting of it, and then we pair them side by side. And sure enough, this new one beat out our old one. So we said goodbye to that one and put in the new one. So that's how we switch out our wines, is basically what's better than what's already in the lineup and what just is really exciting in terms of grapes like this Sangiovese Bianco, which I could say all day. So
How
Yeah.
often do you switch things up?
periodically, so there's really no rhyme or reason. It's not like, every Monday we just switch out all 24. It's when, as I mentioned before, these are small family held vineyards, and I like to almost kind of relate it to our town of historic Newcastle. Some of those vineyards are literally the size of historic Newcastle. So they're only making about 400 cases of it. So once it's gone, that's it. It's gone. And then until the next season. So when we find one that we really like, we take as much of it as we can. We hold on to it in our wine cellars. And then when they're gone, they're gone. So we're always constantly trying to find new ones to have as and kind of as our bench lineup, which is always a
Yeah.
good one. So it really comes down to availability, exclusivity, because we don't want you to drive down to the local, wine store, liquor store, and be able to pick those up. That would just really defeat the purpose of what we're looking to do. So it comes down to pretty much just those two factors, when we run out of it or when we find something better. So
How much do your bottles for sale run? Like if someone was to really love something and they
no, that's a great question. So we do. We sell all of our bottles of wine as well as spirits, and our bottles run you anywhere from the mid 20s up to our most expensive bottle, which is far by by far more expensive than the others, and it's still less than 100.
Oh,
So
wow.
the
That's a
majority of
nice
them are
range.
right around like the 30ish, like mid 30s
That's
range.
perfect.
range.
They really are, especially when you're looking at by the glass that you can just take a bottle home, and they're very reasonably priced.
I'm asking for me because this was really yummy.
Oh, okay.
Well, this was amazing.
Yes, this is so
That was so
cool.
much fun. I really
For
appreciate you
sure.
having me.
Thank you so much for having us literally
know.
here.
No.
Hosting us.
I
My
feel like
pleasure.
this is just
By far the most fun podcast we've ever
yes.
I hope people that are watching definitely schedule a trip to come down, because
Yeah.
this is a one of a kind experience.
And
in
invite us.
Delaware.
We'll join you.
Yes.
I'll buy you a
Call
glass
us,
of
let
wine.
us know when you're
Amber
around.
will
I mean,
take your
I'm
photo.
literally right down the street, so I could be here in 5.
If you visit the Sycamore because you heard it on this podcast, I will personally buy you a glass of wine.
I
Oh,
love that.
I heard it here.
It might be the very small amount of wine I just drank speaking, but you can hold me to that.
Well, I do. Please, if anybody does see this and they do come down, please let me know. And the first tasting would be on me, not on you. But thank you. I appreciate you. No, we love this. We love the opportunity to get the word out. We are a new business. We're a small, mom and pop type of business, and it's not easy. But we love what we're doing, and we're so focused on how we can just keep reaching higher and higher.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will be the first of many sycamores you do your podcast from.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Would love that.
You're doing an amazing job.
Thanks, Amber. Thank you. Thank you, ladies, for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, that concludes this episode of That Delaware Podcast. We will catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of That Delaware Podcast. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at That Delaware Podcast and our team page at @RosayoTeam_real estate. And of course, if you have any real estate or Delaware questions, feel free to reach out.